Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today I am pleased to be reviewing one of my favorite effects of all time. This is an effect that has a special place in my heart because it is the first effect I've ever performed in front of a stage live audience to major applause. It is, to me, one of my favorite effects. It is near and dear to me, and that is The Gift by Angelo Carbone. And the reason I'm doing this review is that some of you may have noticed this is being remade and refurnished back into the market by Murphy's Magic because it has been unavailable in masses for quite some time, and it's kind of being brought back to life. And I feel this is something that probably a lot of people have missed or have not bought or have just glanced over, and because it kind of went out of the picture, they forgot it existed, and I feel that's a shame because this is, in my opinion, a bomb of an effect. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect. So you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the gift. So what is the gift? The gift is essentially a prediction system, and in its original form, it's a card prediction system. That's what it is, but it can be used for much more if you want, and we'll discuss that in a moment. But to showcase you the power of the gift, I will do for you a performance of how it would look. So essentially you introduce this box to your spectators and you say what you have inside of this box is twofold. You have something that you're going to show them right now and something that you're going to keep for in a moment. The thing that you're going to show them is this deck of cards, and the thing that you're going to show them in a bit is going to be staying inside of the box, locked in full view. I hope the camera picks that up. So you tell them what you have here is a deck of cards, and what you're going to do is, as the spectators can see, you can show them that every card is different, right? And then you give the deck to them and you tell the spectator to start dealing the cards face up just like this. And they would be doing this. Now I'm doing it faster than it usually would for performance sake, but you tell them to stop whenever. So I'm actually just gonna look at the ceiling so I could stop at a random place. Let's say we're gonna stop right here. So we're gonna stop right here. So you could have went anywhere, but you decided to stop right on this card, correct? Look, we're gonna leave this card right there to the side. We won't even look at it. But if you went one less, it would have been the 7. One more would have been, one even less would have been the 10 of clubs, the 3 of spades, or you could have had the King of hearts or the 6 of spades. You could have had all these different cards, but you stopped right on that card right there, which is the 9 of diamonds. You had a free choice and you stopped at the 9 of diamonds. Normally the spectator would be looking at that on his own. And you tell them, you remember, you had a free choice of any card in this deck. You could have stopped anywhere. You used your intuition and you stopped on the 9 of diamonds, correct? And you remember I told you there was something else inside of the box. And I don't know if you can hear this, but let me see if the camera can actually pick it up. Can you hear that? You can hear that, right? On the camera? I hope so. But essentially you would introduce this and you'd say the spectator would be doing this. He would open up the box and you would tell everyone to see what's inside, and there's a slip of paper. They would then dump it out, the spectator themselves, they would open it up and it would say the 9 of diamonds, the card that you predicted they were gonna stop on from the very start, and the box is examinable, and yeah, that is essentially the routine, the main routine of The Gift by Angelo Carbone. So now that you know what The Gift is, let's talk more about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So The Gift is getting pushed back into market by Murphy's Magic, which means it is going to be available at all your favorite magic stores, whether it's ALAKAZAM, whether it's Penguin, whether it's Vanishing Ink, or any of your local magic shops. You will probably see The Gift in stock, the black version as well, which is my favorite one. I know they had a deluxe red one, but I still think the black is the most nice looking in my opinion. The Gift is sold at the price of 75 US dollars, which is basically verging over like 98, so 98 Canadian, so basically $100 Canadian. And what you get with this is, one, you're going to get your specially printed deck of cards, which is going to allow you to do the card reveal. You're going to get some pieces of paper such as these, which are not necessarily paper, they're like Tyvek, which means that these won't rip for you to write some of your predictions on. And you're also going to get this box. Now, I've had this box for ages. I've performed this. The first time I've performed this in a live show was, I think, 2017. And yeah, the box, I carry this to all my parlor shows, stage shows, and still holds out pretty much perfectly in every sense of the way. So it's been lasting a lot, but I have been taking amazing care of it because it is one of my favorite effects ever. So the box did hold up a very long time with proper care. So you're gonna get this, you're gonna get some papers, you're gonna get your box, which is heavily gimmicked, but it is still inspectable. Like the inspector can look and he's not gonna see anything. Like he can really inspect this. It is inspectable, which is nice. And you're also gonna get an extra tool that will allow you to achieve the effect, but that I cannot show on camera for the sake of method. That's everything that you get. And of course, you're also gonna get an instructional video with this. Now, granted, I haven't watched the instructional video since like 2017 when I originally bought this, so I can't really tell you how long it is or anything like that, but I can tell you that it goes over everything that you need to know: how to use the deck, how to prepare these, how to use the box, how to take care of the box, additional routines, etc. It goes over everything that you would ever need in that regard. And talking about other routines, because I did say this is not only used to a deck of cards, if you have anything that you could use this box for, I don't want to tell exactly what it does because it's going to spoil a bit of the method and the effect. But once you have it, there's a ton of mentalism applications that you can use this. So you can definitely just use this as a prediction. You can have this box on the table from the start. You do your effect. You say that was a fully free choice. You remember the box, boom, and you're going to show what you have. So you can definitely use this for much more than just a deck of cards. It is basically a utility that you can use in your mentalism effects if you so wish. That's all I'm going to say. That it's not just limited to cards. You can use it for many other things as well. So having covered all of that, let's get into difficulty. So how difficult is this to perform? Well, let's talk about the main routine. It is very easy to perform. You do nothing with the deck of cards. The spectator does pretty much everything. So it is basically self-working in that regard. And with the box, you do have to do a bit of moves with the box, but it's nothing too complicated or nothing too fishy or nothing too move monkey-ish that you need to do. It is relatively simple, but there is a moment in the routine where you are going to have to activate, deactivate something with the extra tool that you're going to get. So that is something that you're going to have to put on and ditch in the routine, but everything is super motivated here that it flies by. I've done this in basically for the bride and groom at an event. They wanted, before hiring me, for me to do one singular effect to them, and they invited me at their home, and I did this basically in their faces, and then they loved it. They booked me because of this effect. And one funny thing is one of the dudes, the groom, actually knew a bit of magic, and he said, "Wow, I expected you to do something with this type of thing." And then I kind of laughed and grinned, and he's like, "Why you're laughing?" And I said, "Oh, because that's one of the things I used to achieve this." And then he just started bursting out laughing, and it blew his mind even more. So it can be done even in the closest of scenarios. Basically, people burning you, they're probably not going to see what's going on. So difficulty-wise, relatively easy to perform, I think, in my opinion. Maybe because I've been performing it so long, it's become second nature. But even at the start, I do think it was relatively easy to perform. Now let's move on to practicality. So how practical is this effect? First, let's talk about carrying capacity. You will have to carry around this box. Everything that you need to perform this fits inside the box. So the deck and everything, right, is inside here. So you'll need to carry around this box, which means that this is definitely not something that you're gonna perform in table hopping, walk around, or anything like, in casual performances, table hopping, walk around, because you're not just gonna have this box in your hand and you're going to go from table to place it down, right? That's not something that you're going to do. This is more something that I feel plays well for parlor or semi-parlor or cabaret or stage or even Zoom or anything like that. This could play very well in that regard, or for some special guests at an event. But you will need a carrying case for this. This is not just something you're going to throw in your pocket or in your jacket, because if one, it won't fit, and two, you're just going to break it and damage it, which is not something that you want. So this is definitely practicality wise. Carrying capacity wise, it does have you carry quite a bit with you in order to perform the effect. Moving on now to angles. The angles of the effect are pretty good. They're pretty much 360, I would say. If performed correctly, can be done 360. In terms of reset, the reset of this is relatively quick. I could basically perform the reset here while I'm talking to you on camera. So the deck itself, the reset of the deck is basically instant. So once the card is effectively chosen, the effect is essentially reset on its own. And for the extra gimmicks and the box, that is what it takes for you to reset it. Let me just make sure everything is good, because you do want it to look very good, so it will maybe take a bit more time, because now I'm trying to do it really quickly, but essentially I think I'm happy with how it is right now. So this is fully reset and ready to go. I just put the deck inside and now I'm ready to go to my next table and perform. So the reset does take maybe 10 seconds and maybe 10-ish seconds to make sure that everything is aligned for inspectability afterwards, which brings me to my next point. Is it inspectable? The note is inspectable, the box is inspectable, but the deck of cards is not. However, if you do this with something else, then that specific deck of cards, it is inspectable. Like, people can look at it and they're not necessarily going to find anything that is going to alarm them. And in terms from table space, you will probably need a table to perform the effect. It is better just to have this on the table and in full view. So having said this, let's talk about where to perform. I kind of already hinted at that, but this is not a strolling type effect. So you're not going to do this from table to table or anything like that. This is, I feel, a piece that you're going to do for parlor, for stage, for cabaret, semi-parlor, or a close-up maybe gathering with friends or family or anything like that. This is not something I would do from table to table to table to table to table to table. I just feel it would be a hassle to carry around and take out the box and reset it every single time because it is big. I think this works much better as a showpiece, as part of a set that is on a table in a parlor type setting, but you can use it, right? I'm not saying this cannot be used in close-up, table hopping. It can definitely be used if you so want. It's gonna work well, but it just, in my opinion, it's not necessarily best suited for that. So having said all of this, what are the positives and negatives? And as always, we're going to start with the negatives. What are the negatives? The only negative that I have, there's actually two. One negative is that you will have to carry around the box and have to take care of the box, which means that in certain scenarios, as I said, table hopping, etc., it's not ideal to have this with you. So you're going to have to keep that in mind. And second of all, the second thing that I have is that eventually some of the mechanism in the box is going to start to wear out a bit, which means that it's going to take a bit more time to get the effect to get running. I don't want to say too much, but as you saw in the performance, it did take a bit more kind of stalling from me to get it to work because I've had this for so long that it is starting to wear out a bit, but still it is working perfectly. And even the thing that wears out can be easily replaced. I just haven't committed to it because it still works pretty well even then. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind. Moving on now to the positives. One, the instructions are great. Everything that you receive is great. The effect is great. You get everything that you need to perform this except a Sharpie to write your predictions. Apart from that, you get the paper, the box, the deck, the gimmicks, the utilities, everything is included. It's a fooling effect. It's a brilliant effect. It's very interesting. It brings also interest to people when you come out with this mysterious black box. They don't know what's going to happen. It's moldable, so you can mold any type of routine that you want with this. It can also just be used as a utility device, if ever. It is just very good. So having said all of this, what are my thoughts about it? Would I recommend it? And what do I give it out of 10? Would I recommend it? Yes. I think that if you're in mentalism or card magic, this is one of the best card or mentalism routines out there. Maybe because I'm biased because of my history with it, but it is fantastic. I heavily recommend it. And what do I give it out of 10? In my heart, this is a 10 on 10. It is the perfect effect, but realistically, it does have its gripes. It does have its limitation. It does have its like ease of use things that you need to do. So realistically, it would be a 9, but to me, because of how much I love this, it is a 10, but realistically, probably a 9 for most people. So that's all I have to say. If you have any additional questions regarding the gift, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next reviews. Have a great one, and bye.